welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, the tease in my life, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. All right, give it a stretch. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. So I made a little bit of progress. Not too bad. It's doing okay. So sort of. So yeah, the mountain a little bit smaller, you know what I'm saying? But it's we're getting there. All right. So next session, I want to take a look at this thing that relates to a thing I was working on at work. I think we've spoken about it here before, previous break sessions. And I wanted to talk about MCP servers, the Model Context Protocol. I built a couple of, I won't say I totally built out, but I started a couple like prototype drawings that have been taken like further, you know what I'm saying? We've been working on them and built a couple of them for work. And I don't remember who showed it here. I don't know. Well, maybe not, because I don't have it set up on this computer. But what's cool is, like, I work at Vonage, like I mentioned before, and one of them is a server that you add to, like, primarily I'm thinking your IDE or whatever your code editor is, and you're able to add the documentation right inside of your IDE. So if you're like, hey, what was the code for this thing? You can ask it, and it'll show you the code, and you can just copy and paste it into your thing and work on it that way. And it gives you like more information and stuff. And then so that's a documentation one. And then we're working on a tooling one where you can do things like send an SMS message or send a voice message and all sorts of things, all from within your IDE. So if you're like, hey, maybe like while you're coding, you don't even want to like reach your phone and be like, hey, send a message to so-and-so that, you know, I'm working on this thing and they can check it out here or whatever. And then be able to send that message and the person will get it. A lot of cool stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you can check like your balance, and there's a lot more we're adding to it, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, so it looks like GitHub, actually has like a registry where you can find more MCP servers, all right? And so I'm gonna post a link to this blog post announcing that. So it'll be next to the recording of the video on untilit.works, so you can check it out for yourself. All right, so here we go. All right, so yeah, meet the GitHub MCP registry, the fastest way to discover MCP servers. All right, so this is your new home base for discovering MCP servers. There's another one though, Model Context Pro. I think they had one, the actual official website. Learn how we're working with the broader community on MCP publication and discovery. Cool. That have MCP servers and things, I guess, that are already in the registry. Yeah, so this came out like a few days ago. All right, cool. So shout out to Toby Padilla. All right, now if you tried connecting AI agents to your development tools, you'll know the pain MCP servers scattered across numerous registries, random repos, buried in discovery, slow and full of friction without a central place to go. Meanwhile, MCP server creators are worn out from publishing to multiple places and answering the same setup questions again and again. So I'm wondering, I'm trying to think, because I've only maybe like a couple of other MCP registries that I've seen, maybe, when I was kind of like doing the research. Like my idea was that, and it's probably different for different folks, but like at my company Vonage, like we have developers already there, you know what I'm saying? And so we're just going to present this tool to them, since I'm like, hey, since you're already using us, this will be a little bit easier for you to work on your projects. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, we want to be in like registries, I guess. So, you know, people are looking like, oh, okay, Vonage is there, I use them. You know what I'm saying? But also focus on the people who already are in our community already, having like reaching out to them first, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like finding discovery and everything is cool in the registries, but we have people using us now. So I want to make things better for them. You know what I'm saying? And other people who want to come later but for the people who are using us now, I want to make sure their experience is as great as possible. I mean, so that way people that come in will come into like a great experience already. You know what I'm saying? With people already using it kind of thing and be able to help them out. Neither here nor there. All right. Cool. So the result is a fractured environment that's fraught with potential security risks. Yeah, exactly. That's a whole other thing. And that, again, that's why I kind of want it to be where like, hey, you're hearing from us. This is our MCP servers. Whoever did the other thing, we can't control that. You know what I'm saying? But we're telling you here, this is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? And so I can see why they're saying that. So yeah, maybe with it being GitHub, because we have GitHub repos that are like verified or what have you, right? And so people can see like, okay, yes, from this organization, that's where this thing came from. So that, I guess that kind of makes sense. Whereas like other places, they don't have that thing where like GitHub is like a repository and where organizations could be like on there. You know what I'm saying? So today we're taking the first step towards solving this challenge. Was it? I'm thinking maybe it was Cloudflare. I think it might have been Cloudflare had a registry, I think. I'm not sure. The GitHub MCP registry launches as your new home base for discovering MCP servers. Whether you're building with GitHub Copilot, agents, or any AI tool that speaks MCP, this is the place to find what you need. With GitHub already home to most MCP servers, did not know that. Okay. The MCP registry makes them dramatically easier to discover, explore, and use, helping developers find the right tools faster and contribute to a more open, interoperable ecosystem. So you can browse the registry. So we'll take a look at that. But does it? Okay, yeah, it does take me to the thing. All right, cool. All right, so what is MCP? We kind of talked about that before already. So let's see what they have to say about it. Model Context Protocol. Does it go to the modelcontext.io? Yep, it does go to the website. Cool. Makes it simple for AI agents and tools to talk to each other in a composable, extensible way. They give agents a way to fetch fresh content, like I mentioned with our documentation, interact with the outside world, and integrate into existing systems and workflows. And then also, same thing I was saying, like how by like kind of like logging in to the MCP server with your credentials, you're able to access like stuff like checking out how much your balance is or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I mentioned, sending an SMS message or all that other stuff from within your tools. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm thinking just like your code editor, but it could be other things as well too. So if you have like an assistant or something and you're like, hey, voice assistant or whatever, send an SMS message and it'll do that for you because it'll know like, oh, SMS means this model context protocol server, and they could do it. I mean, so pretty dope. All right, inside the GitHub MCP registry, we're starting simple. That's always good. You know what I'm saying? And building in the open, which is also good. The MCP registry, and again, it's the same. Yeah, we're going to link to that. So we'll take a look at that. Launches with a curated directory of MCP servers from leading partners and the open source community. So they already started off with some of them. All right. Each server is backed by its GitHub repository. So that's what I was saying. So you can tell if this thing is legit because you'll be linked to the actual repo where it's coming from, and you can see if that's the actual organization. And as I was saying before, that's a good way of kind of like verifying it. So that's one thing that GitHub has that other people can't really do. You know what I'm saying? So if your stuff is on GitHub, that's a way of verifying that it is from the actual source that you think it is. That's pretty dope. So you can learn what it does, how to get started, and make informed choices quickly. So here's what you find. Discoverability inside VS Code with one-click installation. So I guess there might be something in your VS Code, because you know how there's like plugins now? So maybe there'll be like MCP servers, and you can search that way as well. Okay. Signal over noise with servers sorted by GitHub stars and community activity. I mean, I guess GitHub stars means something to some people, but I guess like community activity. I think the main thing for me would be like, hey, this MCP server that says it's from this company, is it really from that company? Especially if you have to put in like your credentials and stuff, you definitely want to make sure that is. Works with your stack, including GitHub Copilot and any MCP compatible host. So yeah, so they're saying like any other things. So not necessarily like GitHub Copilot or like VS Code or any other stuff, but other things. All right. So from day one, the MCP registry is shaped by contributions from across the ecosystem, including our launch partners who are helping define what the quality of MCP servers look like. This collaborative foundation ensures developers have access to tools they can trust and sets the stage for a healthier, more interoperable AI ecosystem. So, like I said, yeah. So we hoping Vonage will be up in here at some point. So, shout out to these folks. Cool. Some from folks. Cool. And so building an open ecosystem together. Okay. So developers will be able to self-publish MCP servers directly to the OSS MCP community registry. So you'll be able to do like a pull request, I guess. We'll take a look at that, see what that's involved in that. So once published, those servers will automatically appear in the GitHub MCP registry, creating a unified, scalable path for discovery. This publication flow will reduce duplication across registries. All right, that makes sense. Surface transparent metadata and verification signals. All right. And enable contribution at scale across the ecosystem. The result is a healthier, more open ecosystem, one that leads with quality and accelerates innovation. And they talk about more stuff they want to do. All right, cool. Toby Padilla again. Again, I linked to this, and so it'll be next to the recording of the video in untilit.works. And so okay, let's take a look at. So here's the registry itself, right? The MCP, and it's at github.com/MCP. I'll post a link to this directly. So if you want to go directly there, you can. All right, cool. All right, so then, you see some stuff here that's from Microsoft. All right. So like I was saying, like if you click this, right? So let's say this Markdown converts various file formats, PDF, Word, Excel images, or whatever to, and audio to Markdown. Interesting. So, and there's like the install thing. So if you want to install in VS Code Insiders, all right. So that's what they're saying there. All right, so let's take a look at this, right? So mark it down. Cool. And then, so by Microsoft. And like I said, it goes to their GitHub. So you can kind of tell, okay, this is what it is. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, and some breaking changes. So like this is brand new. So you can see it's like 0.1 to 0.1.0. All right. Oh, it's a Python utility for converting various files. Okay, to Markdown. Okay. Oh, okay. So so this is in Python. The stuff I built is like in Node. All right, cool. So you'd be using Python for this. All right. So that's cool. So this is kind of like an example of what you can do. And you can actually search, which is pretty dope. All right. And there's a few here. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see again. Wow, Box logo changed. Okay. And you got Webflow Hugging Face. Hugging Face, that's not like their logo, but hopefully, at some point. Oh, okay. So now this one. Okay, so I see it's by this person, eval state. So it's not actually Hugging Face, it looks like. You know what I mean? And so this goes to this person's GitHub. Yeah, okay. So that's a way of being able to kind of tell whether or not you want to, take part in that. So, okay, that's cool. And it's pretty quick to be able to, so like Monday and Sentry and Chroma. All right, it's pretty dope. Azure. So I guess Azure is separate. I mean, it is Microsoft, but they have their own thing, it looks like. Like with GitHub. Okay. So so now that's pretty dope that you're able to do that. So now let's take a look if you wanted to add yours. All right. So I'll put a link to this as well. So this is from the actual Model Context Protocol folks. The actual website from the folks. I think Claude. Yeah, Claude. Anthropic. They're the ones who created like the whole protocol for people to use, which is pretty dope. All right, so I'm adding a list of that as well. So now, so here you go. So you publish my thing here. So then let's say that's what you want to do, right? So it's going to take you to a README file, a Markdown. Okay, using an agentic AI coding. Oh, wow. Well, this actually holy crap, this will like walk you through. Like, so if you're using like an AI coding assistant, if you put this in, I think, you just use this prompt and it'll, I guess, walk you through it or something. Because the prompt is evaluate the best way to publish this server to the registry. Prefer automated CI flow over manual flows where possible, and implement that. Holy crap. If possible, validate the server JSON against the schema before telling, I guess it might put in a schema or something, before telling the user you are done, using a proper JSON schema library or tool available on the user's machine. If you get stuck, guide the user through the parts of the publishing process they need to do. For example, logging into the publisher's CLI if doing something manual publishing. Holy crap. So it's like, hey, you want to be able to add in this thing? Just ask your agent to do it. Huh. And then so there's like a tutorial here. Create a server JSON file for your MCP server. That makes sense. Authenticate it with the registry. Successfully publish your server. Verify your server appears in the registry. That is pretty cool. And that's cool. It's like an MCP server. If you don't have one, then you can do this one. Follow that one, which again takes you to the website. And that's where I saw the for the node, the TypeScript one. So that's the one I used. Okay, it's the CLI. So yeah, MCP publisher init. And then here's like with the server JSON. And that's the schema that they're talking about before. And that schema JSON. Interesting. So yeah, so you need the schema JSON. That's pretty dope. Registry type. All right, then choose your namespace. Okay. Okay. And then, so it depends on like what you build it in. So here's like the NPM stuff. So if you want to do that, right? But then also, if you do like Python, so you got the PyPy registry. And then NuGet, I believe, is like .NET, I'm pretty sure, right? And they have Docker. What's MCBP? Never heard of that one. That's cool. All right. I know, and then you can add remote files there also. Okay. And then authenticate if you need to do such things. And then you publish a server, and you verify the publication. Huh. That's pretty good. And they have some real-world examples, which is pretty dope. Nice. And then update the server, publish new versions with updated server.json files. Oh, that's pretty dope. And you can like learn more. So if you want to learn more about that server.json, because that looks like where everything kind of like centers around, you can find out more about that. And the remote server configurations, because yeah, one of ours is a remote server. So that way it gets like the freshest information from the documentation. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you're installing all the docs on your local machine. It's making calls to it. And so that way you can get that worked out. All right. No, that's pretty dope. All right. That's something I'm look at a little bit later for my actual job. So that's good to know that that's there. It's like a guide to do it. Very dope. All right. So have you used any sort of MCP servers? You know what I'm saying? Let me know. And yeah, so this is pretty dope. I like the way like the whole ecosystem is kind of being built out. You know what I'm saying? It seems like it's intentional, and they're trying to make sure it's, you know, good as they go along. You know, so make sure the steps are in place. So pretty dope. All right. So again, all the links to everything will be next to the recording of the video on untilit.works. Let me get you all back to work so I can get back to work, because I've got boxes to clean up and some design work to finish up so I can get these things printed. I'm not going to do any 3D printing until those things are done drying the filament. I might do. We'll see. I want to create a holder for a thing I made. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, hopefully you are making some progress on what it is that you're working on. I'm going to send you all off with some traveling music. This right here is Anthony Cruz, a.k.a. A Butta. The track's called Thank You. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you 15 minutes after the hour. Till then, I wish you much productivity. We'll take a look at an artist's website, listen to music, watch some videos, maybe become a fan. Like I said, till then, I wish you much productivity. All right, y'all be easy. Anthony Cruz, a.k.a. A Butta. Thank you. All right, peace.
Thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when a brother had nowhere to turn to. You were there, and I feel like And everybody says, we spread love like. I wanna say thank you for holding on. When a brother was down and out, now I feel so strong. And I wanna say thank you